Tim Pool goes off on this leftist saying that he is in a cult. Let's watch.
I'm going to say it again. Y'all are a cult.
What was cultish about what I just said?
Like, you can't. So I'm a reformer, not a revolutionary. Okay. And I say this all the time because the left is a cult. Okay. That means Trump does bad things. And I go, yeah, well, you know, like, I'm going to win here, 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 and here. And I'm a reformer. And I want those reforms more than I care about other things.
Okay.
That tends to be the average voter, largely on economics and immigration. The left is like, but how could you possibly vote for Trump if one thing is bad?
Well, it's not one thing. I'm asking which liberal policy has Trump implemented that is aligned with your supposed
anti-intervention?
liberalism? Okay, so
the neocons my whole life were pro-intervention and pro-war.
Yeah, Iraq War.
And I didn't vote for Trump in 2016, but he didn't start any wars, and he set timeline for withdrawal from
escalated the drone strikes from Obama and changed the
during a withdrawal. Indeed, right.
The withdrawal of...
The reason why Donald Trump escalated drone strikes was because we were pulling troops out of the Middle East.
Sure, but he killed more people in that area with drones and changed the reporting and changed the report. Well, okay, are you anti-interventionist because you are afraid of like the death and the destruction, or are you just like, oh, we shouldn't be located here?
Donald,
like I can be in America and I can send missiles into another country.
Donald Trump's policies in his first term, extending even to now, have been the gradual rescinding of U.S. military might in foreign entanglements.
I'd say mostly that checks out.
And that was the liberal position for 30 years of my entire life and every protest I ever attended. Mm-hmm. And now the Democrats are pro-war.
Pro-war?
Oh, come on. How much you want to give Ukraine?
That's not pro-war.
Do you want to give Ukraine?
Hold on, let me give an example. If I'm not like a pacifist, but I never in my life hope to ever kill anyone. However, if someone breaks into my house, I'll blow them away, right? If I'm not sure.
If someone invades the United States, I will join the military in 2 seconds.
Exactly, right? So like, it's not pro-war to say, hey, we don't want new wars to start. However, if Russia invades...
Bro, this dude is literally so garbage. Holy smokes. Hey, if somebody breaks into my house, I'm gonna, you know, I don't want to kill anybody, but, you know, I'll have to do what I have to do to get, you know, protection. But by the way, hey, asylum is cool for immigrants, and, you know, building the wall is lame, and we need our immigrants. They just need to come here legally. But by the way, we need to really change the definition of what legal means. And also, have you heard about what a woman is? Because I think that's changed as well. What, dude, shut up.
It's Ukraine. Then we should give them like money or weapons to stop that from happening. That's like a defensive
pro-war.
measure. Why is that pro-war?
Because
the war didn't get started. It's not like America's like, go commit war.
Here, I love this. Let's try this. Gentlemen, a foreign nation 12,000 miles away has invaded one of their bordering neighbor states of 29 million people. We need to send special forces, military training, ATACMS missiles. We need to provide intelligence. We need to sink the flagship of their Black Sea fleet and make sure they win this war. And we're going to make sure American PMCs are on the ground aiding them. And I'm like, y'all are pro-war.
Why is that pro-war if we want to help an ally? When
not an ally.
When a war was started by
Ukraine's not an ally. They're not an ally of ours. They've never been a formal ally of NATO or the United States.
Yeah, so they're not in NATO. That doesn't mean we don't support their common goals. That doesn't ally doesn't mean like officially we described it like on this.
What should we do?
Dude, what are their common goals, bro? What are their goals? I don't remember being told as an American growing up in, I don't know, like public school and a lot of public schools. I don't remember ever being told about why Ukraine was so important to our Constitution, to our founding, to what makes America great. What, like even Germany, we have guns. We have great German guns that come over here in America, and they're phenomenal. I even understand that more. But what does Ukraine do for me? What is cool about Ukraine? What is anything about Ukraine? Democracy? Is that what you're going to say? Democracy?
If a nation we are not aligned with bombs our energy distribution lines.
Are you talking about the Nord Stream pipeline stuff?
I'm asking you a basic question.
If an enemy or a friendly nation does that?
I didn't say friendly nation.
If an enemy nation does it.
I didn't say enemy nation.
If just a nation did that.
If a nation bombed one of our distribution systems for our allies' energy, what should we do?
It depends on why they did it. Because if you're talking about
cut off our access to energy.
Yeah, so like the idea, this concept of like, I think the theory is that Ukraine did it to escalate our tensions with Russia so that we would support them more. Like that's the theory behind that, right? Like, and we should, if that's the case, that yeah.
I asked you a question about if a nation.
We both know what we're talking about, right?
We're talking answer the question, and then we'll carry on.
Yeah, if the case is that they did that, if that's what ended up happening, it's like, oh, okay, like this country tried to sabotage us to make us do something. That's probably a bad thing. We should punish.
And that's what Germany is accusing Ukraine of doing.
Germany's accusing Ukraine of the Nord Stream thing, right?
Germany has issued an arrest warrant for one Ukrainian who they said was accompanied by 2 other Ukrainians to bomb the Nord Stream pipeline for the purpose of cutting off NATO access to energy, so that Russia would stop getting the resources from Europe, which benefits them. I don't want to say the singular source funds the war, but it provides them with resources in war. So Ukraine attacked a NATO ally because they were trying to cause harm to Russia.
I don't know if we know this is fact, and
That's fine. You know what? I don't care.
I care.
Our ally asserted it, and we should be aligned with NATO, not Ukraine.
If Germany asked us, hey, can you? First of all, Germany supports Ukraine, but if Germany said, hey, can you punish them for this? Then I think that maybe we should listen to Germany if they did that. Well, the idea that we should, the idea that we should pull out of Ukraine because of this.
Now you're
thing,
pro-war, dude.
How is this pro-war?
We should not be involved in some other country's war.
Why not?
They're not an ally of ours.
But they literally are an ally.
No, they are not. That's fake news.
We helped them sign the agreement to give up their nuclear bombs.
That's a memorandum, not an alliance treaty.
Yeah, I didn't. Just because you legally didn't write the word ally down doesn't make it that, hey, we did not promise a security guarantee for you,
treaty
right?
alliance we do not have with Ukraine.
Are you saying that if we make a promise to a
you're
country,
pro-war. You're pro-war, bro.
Well,
you are in favor of foreign war and our involvement in it. Yes or no?
I am in favor of defending a country that was attacked by another country if that country had security guarantees. Well, I know you're not.
You're pro-war.
Why is that pro-war?
Do you think the U.S. should be involved in Ukraine's war?
Yes.
Okay.
We gave them security
Agreed.
guarantees.
The liberal position.
Wait, hold on. Let's talk about NATO. If Germany gets attacked by Russia tomorrow, do you think we should defend them?
Yes.
Okay. But are you pro-war?
If our alliance is attacked by an enemy
we're going to send American troops. They're all going to get shot by the Russian troops. Is that pro-war? Because that's our guarantee that we'll go defend them.
It's not. Like, I don't know how y'all can't grasp this.
Wait, why is that not?
It's not pro-war because it ultimately would prevent or stop or end war. I don't get. Is that where Tim's going? Because that's where my head goes. It's not that you're against war in general and every form of war. It's that you will utilize your army and what you have to defend your nation because you have to protect your nation's sovereignty, and everybody has to agree that there is sovereignty here, especially if you're fucking with an ally of ours that helps us. So if you attack Germany, you're obviously attacking the U.S. because of the infrastructures with Germany and with America.
Ukraine is not an ally of this country,
nor
context? Are we being attacked. And I would also add, I am skeptical a bit on whether we should answer Article 5
for NATO. But the
for
point
NATO,
is, like, I'm not pro-war.
Depending on what Europe is doing right now. So let's just hammer out the nuances of this.
Okay.
5 years ago, if Russia bombed Germany, then yes, we should answer the call of NATO.
Is that pro-war?
No, it's not.
Why not?
The issue that I'm talking about...
It's a war that you support to defend our ally.
You support intervention. That is the nuance of the conversation. You guys are cultists.
Why is
that
cultish?
Because you can't understand nuance.
Can we take a step back?
You live in an isolated, one-dimensional reality.
Take a breather. I just want to ask like a really simple question. Like, I don't think I'm coming in here like with some crazy ideology. Now, you can say I'm wrong.
You are.
Hold on. You can say I'm wrong for 100%.
Neocon zealotry.
But when I see,
You're
hey,
a neocon.
A country that we signed an agreement with that said, hey, we'll protect you, so you can give up your nukes, so that you don't need them for protection, and then they get invaded, and we say, hey, we'll help you out. This isn't like some crazy concept to me. Now, if you can explain why that's a bad thing, I understand, but I don't think that makes me pro-war, right?
Yes, you're. So when I say pro-war, I'm referring to what a traditional liberal is over the past 30 years. My whole life,
liberals supported aiding people that we made promises to our whole life.
Okay, once again, you are a cult. You can't seem to grasp nuance. Everything's black and white.
No.
You can't understand that there is interventionary conflict, which I oppose, which had been the liberal position for 30 years, and we should not be intervening in Ukraine's domestic politics and their war.
Bill Clinton intervened in Kosovo. Was that pro-war?
Yes.
Why?
We should not be intervening in foreign conflicts in foreign countries.
So we should have let the Serbians genocide the Albanians.
I don't know or care.
Why not?
It's not United States.
You don't care about people dying?
I care about people dying when it's in our country and within our purview.
Yeah, but if we have someone that we can have some mutual beneficial relationship with, and they say, hey, please stop them from genociding
Neocon,
us,
bro.
shouldn't we do it?
You are allowed to believe what you want to believe.
I just don't understand.
They make a movie, Team America, World Police,
you are
making
a
fun
neocon.
of exactly that.
Brother,
they're making fun of was the Iraq War.
If we went back to
World
2006,
Police,
is Bill Clinton a neocon?
You would be a neocon.
Is Bill Clinton a neocon?
If we went back to 2006, you would be the neocon.
Bill Clinton was in 92. Was Bill Clinton a neocon?
Neocons and
we went
neolibs
back
are
to
Wait, answer my
2006.
question. Bill Clinton is what I don't think is a neocon, intervened in Kosovo to save the Albanian people from a genocide. You call this interventionist? Is he a neocon?
When I call you,
A
okay,
neocon.
this is because you guys live in a one-dimensional reality. You can't seem to
answer
grasp.
my question about Bill Clinton. How is he?
He's not a neocon.
Okay, but if I
But I think you
is that not
lack the understanding to
How
which.
what am I lacking the understanding of? I'm
Okay.
looking at an intervention that I may or may not agree with and say, oh, this one makes sense because of a security guarantee that we gave them. Why is that pro-war? Is Bill Clinton pro-war?
I'm using the word pro-war to refer to your pro-intervention stance.
You're comparing it to what
'Cause
I would.
I'm not an
wait, hold on. We would agree
isolationist.
here. We would agree here. You don't like the George Bush Iraq invasion, right?
Yeah.
Like I think that's not just interventional.
Nor Serbia, Kosovo, nor Desert Storm
Hold on.
under
One is
under
stopping
first
a
Bush.
genocide. One is our intelligence agencies.
stopping a genocide?
Bill Clinton stopped the genocide of the Albanian people in Kosovo using intervention, right?
Yeah, I don't
That's
care.
very different from our intelligence agencies lied to us about weapons of mass destruction. So we went in and devastated this country, and killed almost 1 million people, right? You and I are both against that. That is not anti-war because I'm against that. That is I'm
Once again,
anti a shitty war.
I know it's hard for you to understand. And I don't know how to convey the idea to you that I don't believe the U.S. military should be an apparatus of the world police,
Okay.
be it Serbia or otherwise, or Ukraine.
Why not?
I think that America should be responsible to the American people.
If
I don't
having
believe
a
that the
relationship with
American
a country by saving
you want
them
to let me
benefits
answer the
us-
question?
Well, hold on. If
You asked me a question. Do I
Right, and
answer
I'm
or not?
clarifying my question. If you
Oh.
get a beneficial relationship with a country by intervening and saving them from a genocide, isn't that good for America? That we now have
No.
influence there. Why not?
That's my point.
I don't think a single American troop died in the Kosovo.
The
thing. It's not
American
like we're
people
hurting.
should not be spending their labor on foreign incursions by a political class that rejects the will of the people.
Do you think the will of the people was don't help the people getting genocided in Albania? Like I don't understand this.
Trump won the popular vote.
Well, I'm talking.
Right?
Hold on.
Did
We can't
Trump
keep jumping
win?
around? Yes.
No.
Trump won
I
the
don't give a
popular vote, yeah.
shit about Serbia and Kosovo. I already said no. I don't. I was a little kid. I don't think you. How old are you?
I wasn't alive when this
Exactly.
happened.
So let's not argue about things we didn't exist in. Because if we
Why
want to go
not?
back to the
I
80s,
support us
we can talk about Ronald
liberating-
Reagan being for gun control. Okay,
Yeah,
and he was a
okay.
conservative, and the Republicans love him, and I think he was a scumbag.
Okay.
He was also in favor of no-fault divorce. Going back and talking about how politics change is not the point being made here. The point being made here.
It is because you say you're a liberal from 2002, and I'm saying none of your positions
Traditional
line up with these people.
liberal tends to refer to where the Democrats used to be.
But you don't.
He said he was a reformer. I think he said he picks and chooses his battles, and this is one that he has picked specifically because of his former liberal ideas, but now he's not a liberal anymore because being a liberal doesn't really mean the same thing that it used to because of the progressives that have infiltrated and taken over. Now, I think I'm in complete agreement with Tim Pool in regards to this specifically, because I don't think that it is. I think anytime we help somebody, it's transactional. And I don't get to see what the deals are. And even if I did, I bet they're super long and I wouldn't even want to read them because it's not my job to read them. It is my job to react to YouTube videos of other people talking about things. So I rely solely on Tim Pool being the smartest man in the video.
Don't line up with those people. You're
I do,
literally anti-Bill
anti-intervention.
Clinton from the 90s, which was the liberals in the 90s. So even further back.
I know this is hard for you to understand, but saying
how
the
is-
same thing over and over again doesn't change what I
Yeah,
said.
because you're not acknowledging what I'm saying. You're not a liberal from the 90s. You're not a liberal from the 2000s. You don't support DACA. So, how are you a liberal from any of these eras? Just, why not just say, I like Trump's policies because Trump is on the right and that's who I support? What's wrong with
I
that?
think like I said this earlier, one of the biggest divides between the left and the right is that the left is retarded and the right is slightly
I
less
saw you tweet
retarded.
that this morning because the Brian Cranston
Because,
scene
like-
fell for your bait, right?
Because you can't seem to grasp that I was 13 years old when the U.S. began their interventionist neocon policies.
In 2003.
And that is what I'm talking about.
Okay.
And then when you start talking about a bygone era to which I didn't exist in politically, nor you, it's immaterial.
I
the
talked
positions
about
we're
Obama.
taking
You
right
were alive
now.
for Obama. You're disagreeing
And
with Obama's
disagreeing with
policies.
one policy.
Which policies do you support?
Doesn't make you a conservative.
Which
I'm in
policies do you
favor of
support?
universal basic health care. I'm
Okay.
pro-choice.
But then
and
why vote for
anti-war.
Trump?
Whoa, Tim Pool's pro-choice. That's crazy. All right, I'm ending the video right there because I did not know that, and now I am going to go cry. I don't know. I did not know that was the case with Tim Pool. That is wild. Anyways, guys, that's all we have for today. I'll see you in the next one.